Yep. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeiro Zone for another live show. Let me get this out of the way. For a live show post game or like post day, match day, whatever you want to call it. And we are gonna talk about the game, obviously. So I have a schedule for the show for once, because I have a lot to go through. So we're gonna talk about the game, obviously, because we played yesterday. We're gonna talk about Scanavino's pre-game comments, as you can see. I want to talk about Allegri a little bit, and I want to touch on Danilo in general, not just him, but just in general, Danilo type of players, because that's a topic yesterday and today, basically. But before we get into it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel as always. Now, I know someone's saying Inter lost. We can't even enjoy that at the moment because they lost, but they're still 12 points ahead of us at this moment in time. It is what it is. And even Empoli got points on us. So that's the situation we are in now. So it's a weird one. It's a tough one, but it's a reality at this moment in time, basically. And that's why I believe yesterday's game still, it feels like a loss. Like it feels like a loss. Yesterday, 3-3 at the end, final whistle. I was like, the first 5 minutes, I was like, we lost again, And then before I hit record for my match reaction, I was like, we didn't lose. Like, it was a draw, but it feels like a loss. We we needed the points, and we gave them away. We gave them away. We only have ourselves to blame yesterday. Like, nobody else, no referee. You can go over. Yeah, Milik should have a pen or two, whatever. We gave them a point, and we threw away 2 points, basically 2 extra points. That's what we did yesterday. So it's a tough one to take. I thought weirdly, there was a lot of positivity. Again, I'm not saying you don't need to be positive, but considering the situation we were in now, I didn't feel positive coming after that game yesterday, because I know the first half was good. Besides the first 10 minutes when we conceded and we're a bit, shook, and then we took over. How many times have we played very well and we came out and say, this could kickstart, something great, and it hasn't. So that's why I'm not overly positive about the performance in general, because we've seen it. Like, we had games or moments or like stretches in games where we look very good, and you were like, oh, we're gonna build on this. This is the moment. This is it. And then it turns out not to be. It's just not that moment. Like, we are the same team we thought we were, or like we knew we were, basically, and we were kind of lying to ourselves. That's why when I came on yesterday, I wasn't over positive, because I've seen it before. I'm not gonna praise effort, because they're professional footballers. You always need to have effort, so I'm not gonna praise effort after you got deducted 15 points. Like, okay, you show pride, I get it, but like, I'm not gonna praise that. Like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lower my standards that low. I already lowered it, because I'm accepted certain players playing in this team at this moment in time, but I'm not gonna go even lower and praise effort, because that's the bare minimum. Like, if we need to do that, then we truly are going through a real banter era, which is possible. That could happen with all things on the horizon, punishments and all those things. But that first half was good. We pressed, and we looked very good. We looked very good, and then we came out in the second half and we just gifted it away. As simple as that. We just gave it away by quote unquote leaders. The people who speak the most, basically. He made up for it, not Alexandro, but he made up for it. But just in general, we gave it away. Like, we gave away points again, and we've done it before, and we will do it again. you know. And yes, you can drop points. I get that. Like I'm okay with that. But the way we drop points at times, and especially yesterday, is just weird. You know, it's just weird. It is kind of there's no explanation anymore. Like it just happens at this point. You know, you it happens. You sit back and you're like, yeah, you know, when we conceded 2 goals in I don't know how many minutes, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, yeah, this is it basically. Like even though we were on a winning streak, we're not conceding. If that happened in that winning streak, you were like, yeah, you know, no surprise or like whatever, no surprise, no shock. It's kind of based on a feeling you have watching the game, but whatever, you know, 3-3, and it's not gonna help us because I believe, I will say it again, I believe the 15 points will stand. Also because Fajoli did an interview today, I don't know where, I just read it, you know, on Tutto Juve, and he specifically said, and this worries me a little bit, he said, we were kind of surprised by 15 points. We didn't expect it that much. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but the fact that he says I wasn't expecting that much kind of tells me they were expecting points deduction. And going off that, you know, if you're going to appeal it, it's not 5 points or 3 points or 10, it's 15 or 0. Now, going off that comment, I think they knew via the management, I don't know, that the possibility is there that they're going to lose some points. But they were just shocked it was 15. So going off that, I believe those 15 points are going to stand. You know, and maybe it was just a wording. But even if he didn't mean, excuse me, if he didn't mean points, he meant that they knew, the players knew something was coming. They knew. Like, even if I'm reading too much in the points tally and not that much, just in general, they knew, going off that, I'm 100% sure now, they knew something was coming. And that's very worrying because 15 points, you're going to appeal it, it's 15 or 0. There's nothing in between. And my money is on it's going to stand to 15. It is. Like, that's what I believe, especially going off things that are leaking out now, what they use to basically hand us those 15 points. It's at this moment in time, it's kind of based on loose sand, and I'm like, if they can do that, you're screwed because the Coney or the Coney, whatever you want to call it, they're not gonna help us out. They're just not. Like, it's not gonna be a walk in the park, and they'll be like, okay, we make it 0. Like, that's not those guys. Maybe if you go higher up, who knows? But I think those 15 points are gonna stand. Hanin says you're reading too much into it. Maybe in the points tally, but in general, I believe they knew. Now today, I actually believe they knew something was coming. They were prepared for something to happen, and that's very worrying. And I have a lot of other things I worry about. I'm gonna go through in a minute. But yeah, it's a weird feeling because we're playing at this moment in time. You're playing for nothing / maybe something. So you don't know. So and then something else that Fajoli said, saying the club told them they don't need to worry. They just need to go out there and show some pride. Or like, what about quality? Because pride is not gonna help us get into top 4. Like, quality is what's gonna help us into top 4. It's as simple as that. You're not gonna win 19 games based on showing pride. Because yesterday we showed quote unquote pride and we didn't win. You know, we gifted the points away. So all those little things, they do worry me because I don't know, man. I don't have a good feeling with it. Excuse me. When I read those things and when I hear those things, it's just a bit worrying. And what worries me the most was yesterday, Scanavino, before the game. He got me very worried. Like, it is what it is. Like, I was listening to him. He spoke for a good 10 minutes at least. And I wasn't feeling it. Like, I wasn't feeling it. The things he was saying, it felt a bit, not dodgy, but like it felt a bit soft or whatever you want to call it. So I have some quotes. I have the first one, um, which was a weird one. I'm not gonna lie, because I left the part out of it, but I will add it while I'm reading it. He said, "We will clearly support our defense with great determination and strength, but always with great competence, professionalism, and respect in the appropriate ways and places." He said, "We have very solid and very clear positions, which have already been successfully accepted in an orderly way. So, in addition to these, we believe we even have others, so we will continue along this path." So, he was referring to winning this case or like getting this case dismissed last year, you know. But the difference is they claim they have new evidence, and we don't know what the new evidence is until Monday. So, they can say it now that they are, I don't want to say confident, because last time it got overruled or whatever you want to call it, but things have changed, so you need to wait. And they don't know what's happening. Going off these words, they don't know what has been used as new evidence, which leaks or whatever have they proved. I have no idea, because now it's plus Valenza, but it could be something completely different. Like, we could have maybe agreed with Barcelona. I'm just saying something. 60 mil for Pjanic, but we put him on the books for 70 mil. That we gave him away for 70 mil. I don't know. I'm just saying something, because that is plus Valenza, but is also lying, because you're mixing up numbers basically. I don't know if that's the case, but maybe something in that whatever ballpark has happened, because at this moment in time, if it's just plus Valenza, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. So that's that. Now, the second part, or like the thing I picked out, got me worried a little bit. He said, "This is an unjust sentence. It's evidently not only believed by us Juve, because in recent days I have appreciated people who have worked in football for a long time." Then you also went on saying, "and streamers or bloggers and all those things." So he was referring to people who have Twitch channels and like well-known people, like maybe Bobo TV and something like that, like those platforms, who have absolutely understood the unfairness of these decisions, blah blah blah. He said, "I believe people have understood that the federal justice can behave in an unfair way, and this creates concern, because today can happen to us, tomorrow can happen to anyone else," which is true. But the part where he was referring to bloggers and streamers and all those things, I found very strange. I'm not gonna lie, because they don't care. Like, if you go to court, that's not gonna help you. Support from other people. You just need to prove that you are on the right, basically. That's all you need to do. Well, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Excuse me. Like, the court doesn't care if you get support. The court doesn't care if Juve fans are canceling their TV subscription. Like, they don't care. I find it already a very strange thing that people are canceling their subscription, because it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. It isn't. And at one point, you will activate that subscription back. We all know that. Like, it is what it is. Maybe not all of them, but a big portion will, because you're not gonna stream the games for the rest of your life, because it's not fun. It's just not fun. The streams are crap. It brings in viruses into your PC. There are 200 ads. You're just not gonna do it for a very long time. So we all know that, and they know that. Like, it is what it is. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, everything coming out of the club feels like they are not laying down, but are being soft. Like, it doesn't feel like they are, I don't know, angry, if you want to call it that way. Like, it doesn't feel like that, because I remember when City got like City got that, not punish, yeah, he got that punishment from the UEFA and all those things. Their messaging, their way of acting was kind of aggressive. It was aggressive. The club, the statements, it doesn't feel aggressive. It feels very soft, in my opinion, and it feels very, we're kind of guilty, or like, we know we have done something wrong, and we're probably not gonna get away with everything, or like, and all those things. That's how I feel, and that has me worried. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Let me see if anything is in the comments section. Comment's not coming up today. What the hell? Let me. Okay, here we go. He says, how much money will Juve lose if fail to qualify to Champions League and UEFA ban Juve for years now will affect Adidas and sponsors? Probably you will lose a lot of money depending on how far you go in the Champions League, but you could at least easily lose 40 to 50 million euros easily. And if you don't reach the Champions League or Europe, I don't know if there is a clause with Adidas, about getting into Europe. Maybe, probably, you would think, but you're just gonna lose money big time. Revenue, sponsorships, all those things. It's gonna drop massively. So it's a complete disaster if you don't make it to the Champions League. And if you just get banned in Europe in general, it's a cat. I don't know how to put it, but it's a complete disaster. It's as simple as that. So at this moment in time, it's looking very, very bad. Like, that's just the reality. It's just not looking good. It's as simple as that. And that's why I'm like, I cannot go with the show pride and all those things the club put. Like, show, what? You need to grow up here. Like, because that's going to help us out of this situation, or could help us out of this situation, not showing pride, and all those, or canceling subscription and all those things. The club needs to act, not we. Like, we are not going to make a difference in court. It's the club. That's it. Do you think Dusan will actually leave in the summer? I don't know. No idea. It's too early to say. Way too early. I know Romano tried to, how do you want to say that? Even like stir the pot a little bit, but he made a statement, Romano, and the statement was, keep an eye, could, maybe, if, and all those things. It was nothing. Like, there was no news story. It was just, he could leave, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I can be a journalist, and I can say, Di Maria could stay. Maybe not. Maybe he will leave. Who knows? That's a story. So the Romano thing was just, whatever. He was on a menu channel and he gave them what they wanted. It's as simple as that. He gave them hope by saying, keep an eye. He could leave. He could be the center of a striker domino situation, whatever, and he could be the first piece again. But who knows? That's that. Now, I want to move on to the second part of the show, and that's Allegri, because pre-Atalanta and post-Atalanta were two, and during Atalanta, were two completely different people. Like, completely. I don't know what happened. Maybe, which I don't believe, maybe he saw the backlash of his presser where everything felt like it was accepting, and it was just, we need to deal with it, all those things, and this was the result. He changed it, but he completely flipped from pre-game to post-game, like, completely. There were two different views on the situation, and he was not in character. Like, he did things that were very un-Allegri. Like, the first one, it's just small things, by the way. Besides one thing he said, that's a big thing. This picture, if anyone knows, I cannot recall Allegri doing this ever. Like, in all those years with us, before he got sacked, since he came back, I genuinely cannot recall him celebrating a goal like this. I just can't. I thought about it, and the best thing I came up was him smiling and walking into the locker room when Pirlo scored that last minute goal against Torino. He just broke character. He usually doesn't do this. He said after game, I'm human as well. And he said, I wanted to basically show the players that I was kind of involved, or like I was in this situation. Which is kind of new. Like, it is new, because usually he doesn't show emotions in this manner. Like, he gets angry, throws his jacket, whatever, throws a bottle, kicks a bottle. But usually this, like emotions of joy, he doesn't show. He absolutely doesn't show. So I was kind of surprised, and this is kind of new. And I think this falls into he is what like this set up what happened post game basically, because he feels I think now because he was in that presser he got thrown in there, which I still found like I wasn't live for the presser or like that day, but the fact that they sent him out there to face the Heat was kind of embarrassing for me. Whatever, like I don't think that was very professional from the club. Like to send out your coach and let him answer questions he has no clue about. I thought that was kind of disrespectful. Whatever, he did what he had to do and he played it off. Like he kept it clean and all those things. But I believe that he slept on it and he got pissed about 15 points being deducted. It didn't. I don't think it hit him before he went into that presser room because that's the vibe he gave. He was like, "Yeah, we need to accept it. We start again from 22 points and we need so many points and we will get it." I think he went out of the presser room, went to training, went to the hotel room to rest for the game, and he was like, "This is bullshit. Like, we had those 15 points and they took it away." And then this side of Allegri came out, and the second part was, it was a gentle one, and it was a Napoli-based journalist, and he came on and he made that joke about a light blue tie, and he changed it up, and he was very how do you want to say, like very Allegri-wise, like he was laughing about it, but the fact that he said this in his presser got me it got me off guard because that's not him. Like I cannot recall Allegri making a statement like this. Like usually he accepts kind of everything. Maybe he gets angry about the Salernitana game post game, but he puts it aside really quickly and he's like, "It is what it is. We need to go again." Blah blah blah. You know what it is. Like he doesn't go crying about it, and then the next week, first thing in the presser, he goes crying about it again. Like he usually never does that. But the fact that he said this yesterday, it surprised me. It did. So he was asked about top four again, and he was like, "In my opinion, with 71 points, you go into the Champions League. It will be difficult. We have 38 points plus a 2 that we didn't have because of a technical error. Sanitana, that's 40." Like usually he doesn't do that. Like he just lets it slide. He broke character completely. Like he kind of snapped a little bit, but in his own way. He was very calm, and he was very, I don't want to say that. Like he was very serious. Like he just said it and he moved on. Like nothing just happened. And he kept the conversation going. But I think he's pissed. Again, pre-presser, I didn't think it hit him. Post-presser, he was like, "I got all those questions. It's bullshit." And on top of that, we are actually 15 points less. We have 15 points less than 12 hours ago. And I think he snapped. Like, I think he actually snapped. Because the way he celebrated that goal, the tie joke, whatever you want to call it, and this statement, he just snapped. He snapped. It's true, but he snapped. And he was angry. He was. You can for once, watching him and listening him, you could see he was very, very disappointed, and he was very irritated. He was very angry, and he felt for his players because he said it multiple times that it's hard on the players, it's not fair, and all those things. And usually, I don't know. Usually, it's very like business wise. Like he says good things for the media, what the media wants to hear, not what the fans want to hear. This time he switched it up and he was like, "I'm gonna say what the fans want to hear, and probably not what the media wants to hear." And he came up with that. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have those points anymore. Like they're gone, and we're not making top four. Like at 12 points, we're not making up 12 points to Roma, Inter, or whoever, Atalanta, maybe Lazio. That's just way, way too much, because you're gonna need to win all your games, basically, all of them. It's impossible. You need those 15 points back if you want to make it. It's as simple as that. We're not gonna do that. So he knows it's impossible. He can make all those calculations, 71 points and blah blah blah. I don't think anyone believes we're gonna make it. It is what it is. I think he got frustrated because deep down inside he knows it's not possible. It's done. The only probably way you get into the Champions League or Europe in general is win the Coppa Italia for Europe, or win the Europa League for the Champions League, which, looking at the teams being in it, Barca, Man U, Arsenal, seems very, very unlikely. Like, let's be realistic. So it's not a good situation we're in. It's just a very bad situation. And you basically can't change anything about it, because Monday we will know what it is, and then the club has 30 days to appeal, and I think they're gonna take their time. So we probably will know maybe in April, March, which is kind of mad because the season is almost gone. And maybe if they say no, it says 15 points, and they go even to the TAR, it takes even longer, which is unbelievable. But that's the situation we're in now. I still can't believe it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, just looking at games, it's... How do you want to say that? Like, it's tough, because even yesterday we were up and I was happy, but I was like, why? Like, not for what, basically. For what? Because, yeah, maybe we're going to win this game, but, like, it's not going to, make the cut. It's not going to make the difference at the end of the season because of what happened, And it's just bad. Going into games, preparing for games, it's just not fun anymore. So yeah, that's that basically. But let's see. I guess the club apparently is confident they can, win the case. The players are kind of confident that the club can turn this around. I'm not, and I think more things are coming our way. More bad things are coming our way. That's what I believe. Yeah. Now I'm gonna move on to the last topic before I leave, because my voice is again gone. And it's Danilo. Because, okay, I came on yesterday, and maybe on Twitter, and people think I hate Danilo, which I don't. I like Danilo. I don't hate Danilo. I never did, by the way. But I will say this. Is he a good player in this team? Yes. Does anyone thinks this team is good? How many people think this team is good? I personally don't. I just don't. And he's good in this team. I've never said he's bad in this team. I'm not going to say that, because he's playing well in this team. But in this team, and I'm not going to overboard it. I'm not going to go overboard, because he's playing in a position that's not his, because in his natural position, he's just not good enough. Like, he just can't play the back position anymore. Like, he just can't, And in this position, he has good games, but he also makes mistakes, which I'm not going to put fully on him, because it's not his position, but you cannot really play your own position. So if you want to keep going with it, you need to, clean up your game. I only have a problem with people say, I don't know, like, thinking about the word captain. I think a captain, it needs to be a good leader, but he also needs to be a good player, a very good player, a difference maker. That's what I believe, Just look at the captains of great teams. Look at our captains. Del Piero, you know, Buffon, Chiellini. You knew those players are difference makers. Week in, week out, those are the guys that are gonna be the difference. When I see Danilo, and again, that's not a knock on him. I don't think difference maker. Like I just don't think. Do I think leader? Yeah, I think he's a good leader. I think people and players in the locker room respect him. But thinking about the past and thinking where I want to be, and I know where we are now. I understand that, but I'm not gonna overpraise that because I think the moment I do that, I'm gonna lower my standards and I'm gonna accept lesser things for this club, which I'm not gonna do. That's all I'm saying when I talk about Danilo. That's all I'm saying because if we want to be back at the top again, let's say 2015, he will not be a starter. He will be a bench player, as a lot of the team now, probably all of them almost will be bench players. That's the level we're in now. That's what we are comparing, in my opinion, where we want to be, or like what I want to be, where we are. Look at the squads, because I want to go back to 2015. That's why I'm not going to overboard with the praise. Yes, in this team, but when I hear talks about 2006 and 7 for a new deal, like it makes me sad. Like it makes me absolutely sad that we are thinking about all those things. Same goes for the other players, not just him, by the way, because I think I don't think he's a crap player. I don't think he is. I don't think Locatelli is a bad player. I don't think. Just name it. Name the player. I don't think they're bad players, some of them, but for the level I want to be, they're not. And I understand which moment we are in now, but I'm not gonna go overboard and be like, oh my god, what a player, because I will be lying to myself. That's all I said yesterday. That's all I'm saying. Dominic is saying Danilo's our best and most reliable player this season, but would he get into the starting 11 of Bayern City? No, but okay, a lot, like almost none of our players will be in that team. So I understand that. I'm just comparing it to 2016, 15, or whatever, when we were dominating, because that's the level we should be going back to. And yes, I understand that we cannot have that squad back out of nowhere now. But I'm not gonna go overboard with praising some of these players because I will be lying to myself. Like it's just a lie. I'm being serious. I've been very honest with players. That's it. That's all I was gonna say about Danilo, because people were coming for me in the comments. I have nothing against Danilo, like absolutely nothing. I think he's a good guy, obviously, and he's doing a good job in this team, like a decent job. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna go overboard with saying, "Oh, he's amazing" or "What a player." Like I don't want to do that, Who I would choose as a captain at this moment in time, I actually don't know. He probably should be wearing the armband because I don't think there's anyone in the team who can take that role. Like you would hope a player like Chiesa could be that guy because he is a difference maker, and having a captain that can make the difference week in, week out, because he's just that good, helps, in my opinion. It just helps. Because if you are going to the level we want to be, your captain should be the starter. And if we want to go back to that level, Chiesa, as an example, or a player with the quality of Chiesa, will be in that team. A player with the quality of Danilo won't be in that team. That's all I'm saying. But at this moment in time, I didn't say I have a problem with him wearing the armband. Like I just didn't say that. The only thing I have is with going overboard. I'm not gonna do it. And you can call me out for it, by the way. I'm just not gonna do it. Although saying we need to curb our expectations, I'm not gonna do it. We can't judge against our best teams of the past. We aren't there right now. We can only get back there step by step. I agree with that, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna accept this. I'm just gonna call it how it is. It's not good enough. And these players, even though you might think they're good enough now, I'm just saying I'm not gonna praise them or go overboard because I know they're just not good enough for the level I want to be at. So I'm not gonna do that. That's all I'm saying. I know I cannot compare this or now. I'm just comparing the fact that we need to go back to that situation, and to go back in that situation, these players, they're just not gonna cut it. It is what it is. Like the quality of a lot of these players are just not gonna cut it. That's what I believe. That's all I'm saying. Pogba should not be the captain. I don't think he's a good leader. He's a good guy. Everybody loves him. I don't think he's a good leader. Also, he's very injury prone, so that doesn't help. You know, your captain needs to be out there like almost every game, basically. That's all I'm saying. Again, not just Danilo. Like you can name a lot of these players who I don't how do I want to say that, they get a lot of praise, but just because this team is very average. But if you look at the bigger picture, it's just not good. Like it's just not good. Mr. say for Joy, the guy inside the locker room who knows better than you or me said he's a great leader. I didn't question his leadership. I didn't say he's a good leader, you know. But you cannot say that because they are in the locker room, they know better. So we need to accept everything they're going to say now. So when they come out saying Allegri is a great coach, we cannot say he's a crap coach or he's not doing a good job, because it works both ways. You cannot take one and then throw away the other thing. So now, from now, from this moment in time, everything the players are going to say about their teammates and their coaches, we just need to accept and move on, because that's what you said, you know. So we cannot come on and say, oh, Allegri's not well, because Rabiot said that Allegri is one of the best coaches he has ever had. He's a great coach. So we cannot come on and say Allegri is not doing a good job because a player has said that. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. So I'm not like I didn't say he's a good leader, but it's not because Fagioli said it. I'm gonna agree with it. Now forget the leader part, because I do think he's a good leader. But like, let's say if he comes out and said he's a great player and technically he's amazing, you're not gonna accept it just because he said it. Like, how many times does a coach come out or a player come out and he says wild, outlandish things where you're like, that? Yeah, that's a lie. That's an absolutely lie. So yeah, when he singles out one person only when there's other veteran, I don't get it. But yeah, opinion on Kostic, Rabiot, and Locatelli. I think Kostic had a good period pre-World Cup, but overall he's a disappointment. Yesterday he got skipped, like he did in the first half. We were just bypassing him, which was very strange. And he was getting frustrated at one point, but he's not having a good season. I like Kostic for what he can bring, but it's not working out really. Like it's not great. It is what it is. That's that. I know the sources close to Juve thing. It's being sports. I do believe Allegri is gonna walk at the end of the season. But the sources close. Like when a news report starts with sources close to, I kind of dismiss it, because I just don't think it's, you know, a real thing. That's me personally, by the way. But I have a feeling that I think he will not be the coach next season, based on everything that's gonna happen with the club and with the players as well, and the players he will get at his disposal. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna be here. Although saying acknowledge good form or grinta is not the same as accepting mediocrity, though. I understand what you're saying, but every player has his role, and when the time comes, Danilo will not be a starter. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna praise Grinta, by the way. I don't do that, because that's just the bare minimum. Like, if you don't have that every single game you go out there, then you're just playing a different sport, or like you're just in the wrong business. Like, if you don't show Grinta, like that's big. Like, that's a word that came out like maybe 8-10 years ago, and I still don't get it, because it's a basic thing. You go out there and you show pride. You show you want to win. So like all these small things, I know a lot of people do like it when they show Like, you show that. I will accept that if Chiellini does that and he makes a last digit tackle and he shows that passion. I'm like, yeah, you're a fantastic player. I'll take that from you. But if it feels fake and all those things, I just don't take it. You know, like Bonucci does it. Like that comes out as one of the fakest things ever. You know, his quotes or like his speeches, you can feel like that's it's not real. Like you can feel it's played. So I'm not doing that. I agree these players are not the quality required. Playing against mediocre teams is fine. However, we can play at top level teams who get exposed. It will still support them. Oh yeah, like I'm not gonna hope we are losing. Like I'm not hoping we lose a game. I'm not saying that, but um, I do agree. This team is just in general, it's not good enough. I agree. Expect green top, but the truth is there are so many players that don't have it these days. I love passionate players. Kies and Dino seem to be the only players in our squad that have that. Okay, I mean that's your opinion, of course. That's how you feel about certain players. I just want quality. I just want quality. That's all that matter. I want quality. I don't care if a player loves the club, yes or no. That's not my benchmark because in 2015, I don't think a lot of the players loved the club. You know, they just were great players, a great group of players, and they play well. I like loving the club or showing passion. That's things I bring up when I know a player is just not good enough. And but I do like him, and I still don't want to kind of admit that he's not good enough. But hey, he loves the club, like he works hard, all these things. I'm like, is he quality? Yes or no? Yes, fine. No, then I mean you can show whatever you want, but I just need quality. It is what it is, and a lot of these players are just not quality. As much as they can shout and post motivational texts on Instagram, I just need quality. I just need quality. But yeah. Yeah, Tevez, like Tevez just was pure quality. You show Grinta, whatever, but he was quality. Like I loved him because of his quality, not because of his Grinta, because he was a fantastic player. It is what it is. That's why I love Tevez because he was amazing. Like he was talented. He was good. You know, I don't need a player to kiss the badge. Like it's 2022. I know how it goes. Like it is what it is. Like the money in football, whatever. I don't need. I just want quality. They don't need to kiss the badge. I don't really care anymore, because I've accepted how football is going. Are you good enough? That's all I need. Because if I need to base or like evaluate a player on, oh, he shows grinta or he works hard or he kisses the badge, then I'm losing sight of what really is important. And are you quality? Yes or no? Can you play? Yes or no? Because McTominay shows grinta, he's crap. Like he's bad. But he shows a lot of grinta and passion on that pitch, but he's just not good. And Man U fans want him out because he's just not good. Like quality wise, he's poor. He shows passion, he shows grinta on the ball and whatever, just poor. It's as simple as that. Although saying Grinta's determination, a player like Di Maria can play well, but if he doesn't give the effort during the match, he also disappears. Quality needs to go hand in hand. But Di Maria is a difference maker. Like I know, if he doesn't show determination, whatever, he will pop up with a decisive moment like he did yesterday. He just quality. I want quality. Then I will look at, does he show passion or whatever, like what is the attitude. But if I need to start off with, oh, does he show passion? Oh, great. And then I need to go, but does he have quality? It's already a write-off for me, because then we're not moving in the right direction. Like it is, like football is going a completely different direction. Like if you don't have quality in your team, you're going nowhere. You're just not going anywhere. That backline we have out there, and again, a back three shouldn't be the way we're going, because we're getting exposed now. But that backline in general is just poor. Like it's not good. And you have players in that team as well that show passion, but it's just not good. I don't actually don't want to, like, it pisses me off when you talk about that. Yesterday he played with determination. Players need to have both. If you have a squad full of quality players with no effort, you're. I know. I agree with that. Like, you need to show effort, but it doesn't need to be the first benchmark. It needs to go quality, and then yes, you need to show effort. But if I go, do you show effort? Yes. Let's see if you have quality. It's a write off for me, because then we are lowering the standards, because we are looking at something else first, or we are making, or like we are um, we're twisting a little bit to make a player look good enough just because he speaks well or whatever. And I'm not talking about Danilo in general, I'm just talking in general. Like, personally, I'm not having that. I'm not. mm, Omar said they should put me on the field. I show passion, which is true. Julian in the chat. Yeah. um I'm not a fan of talking about all those things. Like, the again, I'm not saying people in the chat or whatever are lowering their standards, but I think the club has kind of lowered the standards, and maybe people are getting accustomed to it now. I'm not gonna do it. I will never do it, like, ever, because I've seen what we have been, and the drop off is insane, and it shouldn't be allowed. You can have a drop off for 9 winning titles, but not like this. Like, on the pitch, off the pitch, quality wise, everything went to what. It's just poor. Like, when we talk about passion, it means that we are piss poor on the pitch, and that the quality has gone down so bad that we need to talk about these type of things. You know, like Fajoli said, the club asks us to show pride. Jesus. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got deducted 15 points. You don't take it, but pride is not going to bring us back to the top. You need quality. That's what it is. Pride is not going to win you games away to Napoli, to Inter, or anyone. Like, you need quality. That's what is going to win you games. But whatever. We talked about it way too long. Not only today, just in general, the passion thing. Yeah, we talked about it many times in the past. Lucien said, "I disagree. We have quality, but we have poor coaching. We have some quality in the team, but overall, it's not good enough. I think we have some good players, some good pieces to build around, but in general, we have too many pieces surrounding those good pieces who are just they're not good enough. And the coaching is not amazing. I get it, but when I look at Keane or McKennie, and even Rabiot now when he's back being Rabiot, or Alexandro in that lineup, or Cuadrado coming off that bench. Yes, coaching, but like on the ball, technically, it's unwatchable at times. And I'm like, okay, yes, coaching, but when you have a squad filled with these players, then it's very difficult. Now, you could say, don't play him. Give Sule a run for his money again. Play Junior and all those kinds. I agree with that. That I 100% agree. Because they need to have a running. I think we will see a lot of those youngsters in the league. Because if those 15 points are going to stand, which I believe, it's just give them a run in. Because they're going to be there next season. And probably the players you are playing now, a lot of them are not, so just play them. Because yesterday, Fajoli was excellent. And to this moment, like 24 hours later, I'm still confused as of why he took him off. Like, I don't get it. I absolutely don't understand why he took Fajoli off yesterday. That was, well, a head scratcher. I don't get it. But Fajoli needs to play because he's playing well. He deserves to play. And maybe Sule, because when Cuadrado came on, and yes, he was injured for a very long time, but he just looked like Cuadrado. Like, bad decisions, very slow on the ball, slowing down play. And I was like, oh. When Chiesa came back for his first minutes, and he was out for a very long time, you can see he still had that burst. taking on players, skipping past players, even though it wasn't going as smoothly at the beginning. You're like, yeah, he still has the same abilities as he had a year ago. Cuadrado, it's the same thing, only the abilities months ago were just bad, and yesterday it was still bad, and it was clearly obvious that nothing's gonna change if you're gonna play him. It's just gonna be the same outcome. It's gonna be undecisive. It's gonna be very bad and very average on the ball. Even yesterday, he took a shot where you're like, why? Like, what were you thinking about? Taking a shot from that position, just whip it in or whatever, or just play it back, and build up the play. It's just whatever. That's another thing about quality. Like, he's not quality anymore. And I do like Cuadrado. I've always liked him, but time is up for a lot of these players. And maybe with these points and maybe a punishment, transfer ban, Euro ban, I don't know what's going to happen. A lot of these youngsters need to step up big time, which is not the ideal scenario. The ideal scenario is a lot of these players who think they're good enough and overpaid might leave without a fight. That's it. Dominique is saying, I'm the only one who actually think that Miretti should be playing with the U team. He isn't ready. His final decision making is absolutely horrendous. I don't know if you're the only one, but he doesn't need to play with the U team because he's too good for the U team. Like, he's not gonna learn. He's not gonna improve with the U team. He's too good for the U team. So that can absolutely not be the case, because you're gonna just absolutely crush him and he's done. He will be done. Now, I do agree that his decision making has been poor the last couple of months, and he's forcing it. And I said it to Julian, like, he's overthinking things, and yesterday was the prime example, because he had so much time that he took too much time to take a shot. He was overthinking it. He was, this is it. And he was thinking, should I put it right, left? And I think it was Hatabur. Was it Hatabur? Just came in and took that ball a little bit away, and he missed it because he was overthinking it. Post game, Allegri said literally the same thing. You need to stay calm. It will come. The future is on his side because his talent is undeniable, but he's forcing things. He's overthinking things, which he wasn't doing at the beginning when he came on. It was one touch and go. It was refreshing. It was something new. It was, he was playing with it with no pressure. He's playing with pressure now, which I still don't understand why, because I don't think anyone is putting pressure on him. I don't think anyone is. I mean, you have fans saying, making brackets about Rovella, Fagioli, Miretti, and slagging off Miretti, which I still don't understand what the purpose is of doing that. Comparing them, or slagging one off, or having an agenda against one of those players. I'm still confused as of why that's a thing, but whatever. But he just needs to stay calm, because he can play. He just needs to stay calm and go back to what he did at the beginning, where he was, free, not stressed, and it was all rosy and it was all easy, everything he did, and it all looked good. But like Allegri said, it needs time, I guess. But let's see how that will go. I think he's still 19. Like, it's still very young. Although I agree with that, he needs his first goal. He's forcing it because he's being in good positions over the last couple of weeks, and he's just forcing it, overthinking it, and that's making it worse. He needs that goal ASAP. Maybe alone, but I would keep him around. Going off the squad we have coming season, I think he will stick around. Maybe alone is a good thing, but I don't think we have a stacked midfield next season, even if we don't have punishments and all those things. So I do believe he's going to stick around. Omar says once he scores his first goal, it will be massive. It will be massive because I think a lot of pressure will just disappear for him, which is weird because I'm not expecting goals from Miretti. That's not what I'm expecting from him. I'm expecting his quality on the ball, his first touch, his vision. Excuse me. That's what I'm expecting from him. And I think he's focusing too much on that goal, which is not the biggest part of his game. Maybe he should just go back to his play, and that goal, it will come. But I'm not waiting on a Miretti goal. I'm waiting on Miretti being quality on the ball as he can be. So maybe it's something like, maybe it's that. Maybe he's focusing on the wrong things. I don't know. But we've seen he can play. So I don't know what happened the last couple of months, but I do believe he will come good. Again, he's 19. He hasn't like he went from the under 90s slash under 23s to the first team. It's not like Fagioli, who played Serie B football and came in. It will take time, which is fine. I'm not really worried about it. It will come good. But I'm gonna wrap this up because my voice is completely gone. I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah. If you haven't, go watch the daily about McKennie. And tomorrow, I made a video on why I believe. Again, I say I believe Alcon will think about selling this club or big part of this club in the near future, meaning 3 to 5 years. And again, it's just my opinion. That will come out tomorrow. Tomorrow I won't be live, but Julian will be live, I think. So join him tomorrow. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and we will see you back.